You're watching Guude. You're watching Guude. Fighting just to save our lives. Got you laughing every night.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. I am looking for an Efficiency 4 book.
You've obviously been AFK here.
Yeah, I've been AFK for a little while. I'm trying to upgrade some of these picks so that they're more useful. As well as repairing the picks that we have gotten pretty low.
Yeah, my pick is pretty much useless.
Yeah, I've got 84 levels right now, so.
Jeez. That's a lot. I wish you could just dump the levels. I wish you could just put the pick in a workbench and pour your levels into it, sort of thing. You know what I mean?
It would be nice. Fortune on breaking, mending, efficiency 5. There we go. So now we got another pick that's good to go. I've got a Silk Touch pick that is fully recharged. Does not have unbreaking on it though. What are we gonna put unbreaking on it?
Shouldn't you have that, like, from your fishing?
Yeah, I gotta go down and look at all the items just to make them last. Let's see. Come on, unbreaking 3. There we go. It's so funny, like, because the levels are exponential, like how quickly you can drop levels and not really, gain as much out of what you're really trying to do.
Yeah. Like I know what you mean. Like level 1, it takes like a millisecond to get.
Right. Yeah, I was on level 84. And I basically put together a pretty good pick, and I'm at 46, which, hey, that's fine. About 40 levels. Great. The thing is, it took hours to get from 46 to 80-something, when it would have taken, like, an hour to get from 0 to 40.
Right. Like, honestly, you probably should be dumping your levels as much as possible whenever you're doing this, but you're AFK, so
when I just let it go, when I'm AFK, it's not really something that's going to happen. Oh, well, what are you going to do? You take the good with the bad, right? I just wonder how much I'm screwing up Breon when he tries to jump on and play and he can't sleep. And I'm like, haha, sucker.
Do you get like messages? Can we sleep?
No, I've never actually had a message, but I've seen that he was on before. And I was like, wonder if he's been trying to sleep this whole time. There we go. So I got to tell you, I made the decision to do the quote-unquote a redneck upgrade, and I am so happy with it.
A redneck
makes me
upgrade?
feel like a king.
What are you talking about?
Bought myself an inflatable hot tub.
Oh my god, did you really?
Oh, it is fantastic.
So I've tried one of these, and I know someone that has had one, and they had nothing good to say after a year. So I'm curious.
I'd be curious as to why and how much they paid for it too.
Like 300, I think, is what they paid for it.
Yeah, that's what I paid for mine.
It leaked repeatedly, like constantly was leaking. So indoor hot tub that leaks.
Mine is not indoor.
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, that's probably a good thing, right? But I mean, I guess most people probably put these things indoor, right?
I don't think most by any means.
I did it.
Serious dedication. What'd you do?
I completely used up a diamond hoe.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you've been working on that for a long time.
Serious dedication, man. So yeah, it leaked a lot. The pump broke 4 different times. There is no warranty on the pump.
Mine's got like a year warranty on the pump.
Okay.
And on the tub itself.
Okay. Yeah, but it broke 3 times. And every time they would call, it was something like there was supposed to be a warranty, but then they said you still had to pay it was like $60 shipping or something like that to send it there and then get it sent back or something like that. So even though I think there was a warranty, but there was like shipping that was involved.
I mean, I honestly figure for $300, even if we get 1 year out of it, okay.
I mean, yeah, I bought several of those like inflatable above ground pools that they sell at Walmart that are like $300, and it's like there's nothing fancy about it, but it's like, yeah, this isn't gonna last more than if it might last 2 years. Basically, is the way I always looked at it.
Right. I'm not looking at this as it's not like a long-term investment.
Well, I remember when I was a kid, like when you buy the above ground pool, even though it was ghetto, it was something that was supposed to last 20 years.
Oh yeah, I had an above ground pool growing up, but not an inflatable one.
Well, sure,
it was the metal sided one.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
And ours did it. It lasted actually about 20 years. Yeah. And it actually, I think a windstorm knocked a tree down onto it, and my parents tried to get it replaced under like home insurance, and they wouldn't replace it. And by that time, my sister and I were like graduated from college, and they were like, "There's no point in us."
Right.
Getting this pool fixed up anymore.
I mean, those were like $3,000 or something back in the day, though, right?
I don't even know what they paid for it. I'd have to look, but yeah, that figure seems to be what I would think it would cost.
Right. See, like, I mean, I've always wanted a pool, but I've always wanted after having that above ground pool as a child, because we had the same sort of thing you're talking about. I've always wanted to have an in-ground pool.
A real in-ground.
Yeah.
One of my friends had an in-ground pool. Sadly, I didn't meet her until I was like, at the end of my college career. So it's not like it was. I feel like back in high school, it was so much more fun to throw pool parties and stuff. Once you were in college and all, you're too busy to be like constantly at the same person's house with a pool party. Right. But she had a huge in-ground pool and she loved it and used to invite us over to it all the time, like when we could go. But the same time, she lived in kind of like this little suburb, and pretty much her backyard consisted of the pool.
Right. Yeah, like, I mean, so if I did it around here, I'd want to put it like basically like in between my house and my grandmother's house, where there's plenty of like open land. So I mean, it wouldn't take up the whole yard, would not suddenly become a pool. There's plenty of room for this sort of thing, basically. Here, but I don't know what it costs. I've never priced it out, even though this is something I've always wanted. I've never actually looked into it to price it out to see. I imagine it's like 60,000 or something like that. If I had to guess, I don't have any idea though.
I don't know. 60,000 sounds kind of ridiculous to me, because you can build houses for less than $60,000.
Can you?
Yeah, sure. Don't you watch tiny house shows? Granted, they're tiny, but
okay.
Still,
well, I don't think that I don't count the tiny house as a house. That's a shed.
I'm stuck. But I'm saying that like I don't think I can't imagine why it costs $60,000. You dig a hole, you're filling it with concrete or cement or whatever. Like, why was that going to be $60,000?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know what it costs. This is just what's in my head. I've always thought that's what, because I mean, if it's like $20,000, well, what do you think it is? You think it's like $20,000?
Cost? I would say like probably 10 to 15. Cost of in-ground.
If it's 10 or 15, I feel like I've really been living the wrong life.
Installation. Get a fast free estimate.
I don't think you'll be able to.
I don't know if these pool warehouse. I don't know how you can buy an in-ground pool, or what if you buy one, what the steps are. But the Google ads that come up, the most expensive one on the corner, the most expensive one is $23,000, but that's like indoor. But the base ones seem to be between 6 and 7 actually.
There's no way I can get an in-ground pool.
I don't know how you could just purchase an in-ground pool, quote unquote.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, it does look like that's what it is.
I don't believe I can get an in-ground pool put into my yard for $7,000.
Stainless.
Because whenever you watch plenty of these house flipping shows,
I've never seen them put in a pool. I've seen them buy them with a pool.
Yeah, but that's one of the things they always talk about is the biggest money waster as far as added value to a home is a pool. You know what I'm talking about?
Here we go. In most cases, expect a small fiberglass pool shell without delivery to cost between 9 and 13, a medium between 12 and 16, and a large between 16 and 24.
Fiberglass? I thought this was a poured concrete sort of thing.
I don't really No.
Yeah, this doesn't sound like what I'm talking about. Like
Assisted installations typically cost between 30 and 52K. This is just a random website I'm on, so I have no idea what this.
See, that sounded more like my numbers though.
Means. Turnkey vinyl pool liner, 35 to 55,000. But I don't know about just getting a. Why didn't somebody just give me like I'm a company that does it for an average pool? Expect to pay between 25 and 50.
Okay, see, that's about what I was saying.
What this person said. Kind of what you were saying.
Yeah,
I don't even know what you
exactly what I said. I said around 60. So I mean, I feel like
if you take the top end that thing said it was going to be and add some to it, yep, pretty much right around what
I mean, but you're still saying words like fiberglass right now, which I don't want a fiberglass pool below ground. I want a fucking poured concrete pool.
I mean, maybe they are fiberglass, and I just don't realize that they're fiberglass.
No, every pool,
idea.
you've been in a pool. So, anyways, back to your redneck story. I've hijacked the redneck story.
I mean, my redneck story pretty much concluded with what I had done. I will tell you, it's kind of amazing to sit in my backyard in DC in an inflatable hot tub in the backyard.
It is kind of ghetto.
It feels so out of place.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't look ghetto at all. It looks quite amazing, actually.
Does it?
Yeah. It actually fits in very well with the yard. And I bought I went to Lowe's and bought a green indoor outdoor carpet and threw it underneath it, so it actually looks like it was almost like made to be there.
Yeah.
I wish it was blue because the different brands, depending on which brand you buy, they're either like green, blue, or brown. And
so where'd you get it at? Was this like a Walmart thing?
Amazon.
Okay, you bought it on Amazon. Okay.
Yeah,
I see him at Walmart all the time in the same section that the blow up above ground pool thing is.
And Walmart usually has the Coleman ones, I think it is, and they're the dark green ones, and they look a little bit more. It looks like more obviously like it's not like supposed to be there type of deal. Whereas the color that I got looks like it. You're like, okay, I can pass for blending into something. It's not this like dark green that stands out.
So is your sister-in-law still living there?
Yes, until the end of the month, and then she's moving to a place that she subletted for 2 months. And then after that, who knows what she's gonna do?
I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah, so actually, she'll be out of there in 3 days.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I was basically wondering when I could visit again, sort of thing. But is your guest bedroom going to become Jack's room?
We don't know yet. Honestly,
I mean, it's got it, right? Like, there's no other room.
The wife, no. He's gonna sleep in our room for fucking ever, and he's gonna go to.
He's gonna need a room, though. Kids need a room.
Yeah, he'll have his playroom. He'll have his playroom, and then he'll have his sleeping room.
You're gonna have to evict your tenant, and that can be his room.
Yeah, that's his whole apartment.
Yeah, he gets an apartment, right? So while we're talking about redneck purchases, I decided. So it's crawfish season, and I wanted to cook some outside.
Some redneck crawfish.
Well, yeah, crawfish are redneck.
Well, I mean, crawfish are just like a crayfish that you get in typically redneck areas, but everybody eats them. No,
they don't. Most people freak out at the thought of even eating them.
Most people don't really eat them.
They're like, "Oh my god, it's a bug."
I never thought of crawfish as redneck because I've definitely gone to crawfish boils and stuff like that, and never thought twice of it. But yeah, I guess in some areas that would definitely be.
Most people I've talked to are like they don't. Even though it's basically a little tiny lobster. People are like, "Oh, it's a bug. It's so ghetto and whatever." Most people I know are turned off by the thought of even eating a crawfish. Why is there always so many mobs? Like, why the fuck can this not be lit up in a way that makes there not be mobs?
Well, and are you down underneath or?
No, I'm just up here. But
up here it kind of sucks because basically at the end of the last video, you went around torches at what I was digging out up top, but I'm pretty much just destroyed a whole layer of torches because I'm digging again.
Oh no, I meant I'm up here where like the wheat is.
Oh.
Yeah. No. Well, anyways, so crawfish season, and I don't really have a good setup for doing a big boil of crawfish. Like I've done it indoors a few times, and I basically use the same pot I use for canning. It's the biggest pot I had, so I decided to go ahead and buy an outdoor pot, like the one you used for your video the other day.
Okay. Do you have an outdoor like burner and stuff?
Well, I bought the whole combo. For
So
both.
how much does it cost?
Well, so here's the thing. I didn't know what a quart was. I mean, I don't know. Quart, 32 quart, 40 quart, 60 quart, 80 quart. I was like, I don't know what to buy. So I was like,
You bought like an 80 quart?
yeah, I bought a 2-quart pot.
A huge pot.
2-quart pot with the burner.
I think mine's a 32 quart.
Well, it was $200 was the price for 82 quarts with the burner and everything.
With the burner.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I mean, the pots are expensive. I bought mine. Mine's a relatively cheap pot.
It's a nice pot. This is a real nice pot. My daughter fits in it with room to spare.
82 quarts is.
It's so big. It is so fucking big. This pot came.
You could have many crawfish boils.
Oh yeah, no, I
Did
could
you
put
get the strainer in it?
Yeah. A giant fucking strainer. I mean, I could put. I could literally put enough crawfish to feed 30 people in this thing, man. It is so big. It's so yeah. I did not know. I didn't know. I was like, well, what's the hurt in buying just the biggest one they had? Basically, was my thought process. It's like
Storage.
I mean, it is big, right? But I mean, I got room. So I mean, I guess that's not a problem. I got room for it. At least I'm not living in DC where every cubic foot is $1 million. So yeah, this thing arrived, and I was like, wow, this is so much bigger than I anticipated.
$200 seems like a pretty good deal for the entire setup.
Yeah, it's everything you need. And I was thinking, I've had deep fried turkey at Thanksgiving, but I've never deep fried my own turkey, and I feel like this thing is definitely big enough to hold the whole kit and caboodle. So I might try deep frying a turkey this year too. Have you ever deep fried a turkey?
I've not. I mean, I've always wanted to, but I've never been with people who've always wanted to.
Yeah. I've always wanted to just give it a shot. I've had the one time I had it, my uncle did it, and it was great. It was really good. I mean, you deep fried a thing, it's probably gonna be tasty. So it was real good.
I guess the only thing I don't understand about it is you deep fry chicken wings. Sure, I know how they taste. Like, is that pretty much what the turkey tastes like?
Well, no. It was. I mean, you know why I think it's different? Because you deep fry chicken wings, and they're tiny little chicken wings, right? But you deep fry a turkey, and most of the meat is not hitting.
And it's an entire turkey.
It is. I mean, really, it's an entire turkey. So
let me explain to you the difference between a chicken wing and a turkey.
Yeah, Jeff. Do you not realize
the
that a turkey is a lot bigger than a chicken, just to begin with? And then if you just take the wings, it's completely different.
Yeah, turkey is bigger, and there's more than just a wing there. Like,
I guess what I'm getting at is just a wing is gonna dry out more, even though things don't really dry out as much whenever you deep fry them, but they still dry out some. Versus a whole, it like the meat was so much juicier. I remember whenever we had the deep fried turkey, than any other turkey I'd ever had before. So. That was the difference that I noticed, was just how juicy the meat was.
I mean, I honestly think, a place like McDonald's is doing themselves a disservice on Thanksgiving. Offer a, full freaking deep fried turkey for like $40 or whatever it is, because they get really cheap, sourced stuff anyway. It'd probably be like frozen turkey that they somehow use. They have the deep fryers. Just start deep frying them and selling them to families on Thanksgiving.
Yeah. That's true. Anyone with a deep fryer should just be deep frying turkeys.
Like all day, every day. That's all they do. Deep fry the turkeys.
Why isn't there a place that's just fucking Thanksgiving all the time? I mean, I think I've asked you this before. I do a couple Thanksgivings. Bob Evans is awful. Well, that should be their slogan. I mean, come on in, we're awful.
I agree with you. However, I'm just saying, like, that down home country cooking or whatever, isn't that basically,
I don't agree. I think Bob Evans is like a worse cafeteria. Like I've had good cafeteria food, but I think Bob Evans is a worse version of it. I mean, that is what they're trying to sell you. What you're talking about, country home cooking that like grandma would have made, but their food is not good.
So I dated this girl for a long time when I was in college that for some reason Bob Evans was her favorite restaurant.
Oh,
And so we would always go to Bob Evans and I would pretty much sit there and get coffee because I did not like to eat the food. And I also, I don't know, maybe it's because I grew up in the country. So we did cook food like that on a regular basis, but I couldn't understand the appeal of going to a restaurant just to order the same thing I was going to cook at home.
right.
And I was always like, if I'm going to a restaurant, I'm going where that has like steak and, like Outback Steakhouse used to love it because, I'm not going to sit there and deep fry a tomato, an onion.
I'm not either. Yeah.
It's they have things that I'm not going to make at home. And
Right.
I feel like I want to be quote unquote pampered. And I know a lot of you guys are going to be like, Outback's not pampering you. Yeah, I know that now. But at the time, it was like the fanciest place I'd ever been. I'm not going to, I go to Fogo de Chao because I'm not going to make a freaking Brazilian barbecue in
Right.
my kitchen.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. But, I mean,
I'm sorry. Fogo de Chao.
Is it the show?
We have all these commercials lately out here for Fogo de Chao, and they're always like, "Have you ever been to Fogo de Chao?" And I'm like,
No.
Fogo de who? But I don't know if this marketing campaign is just like all off, or if that's really the way it's pronounced, and I've never pronounced it right myself, and I don't know Brazilian to know if Chow is spelled the way it is in Portuguese is shown.
I would imagine the advertising campaign is right. I bet we've always said it wrong in the ads, right?
But I don't think I've ever been to a Fogo de Chao where they called it Fogo de Chao. Welcome to Fogo de Chao. I don't think I've ever heard anybody at the restaurant pronounce it Fogo de Chao.
I don't know if I've ever heard them pronounce it, though. I didn't know if it was... I mean, maybe they have, and I just don't remember. So, I don't know. I always say everything wrong, so I just would... I immediately accept it whenever you said that I just always have been wrong.
I mean, I would think if they really wanted it to be Fogo de Chao, wouldn't they, try to...
Well, you're at an N on the end, and now I don't... I guess...
No, that's what I'm saying. Fogo de Chao. With an N.
I thought you said Fogo de Show was what I thought you'd say.
Oh,
before.
no, they on the radio, it's all Fogo de Chao.
Maybe that's a different place.
Like Shonese. No. The first time I heard the ad, I actually thought it was a place. And I looked into it more, and they said the address of the Fogo de Chao.
Huh. Okay.
It was funny. I made a mention of it to somebody at my fire department. They were like, I heard that commercial, and I got really confused. So I was like, okay, it wasn't just me. Like, I'm not the only person who thought it was Fogo de Chao.
Okay. All right. Well, that's weird. I agree.
Well, thank you for agreeing. But yes, Bob Evans is terrible. That's what that really all.
Yeah.
Does Bob Evans even exist anymore?
Oh yeah, there's one near me. Like honestly, if I was gonna go someplace like that, I enjoy Cracker Barrel, for example. And to me, that's what Bob Evans wants to be. To me, is a Cracker Barrel.
I know a lot of people who love Cracker Barrel. I never got into Cracker Barrel.
I have very specific things I eat at Cracker Barrel, and I like them. I like their sausage gravy, for example. I think they make good sausage gravy. It's very smoky.
Is that the very specific thing that you like at Cracker Barrel?
Well, yes, it is. I always get if I'm there getting breakfast, then it's just basically I just want egg, sausage, and biscuits and gravy. So I mean anyone could make that, but it's really all about the sausage gravy. Then it's the eggs are just scrambled eggs, and their sausage they have good sausage, but it tastes like the gravy is made from that sausage. So,
do you have just diners around?
There's not any. I mean, the closest thing to a diner around here is a Waffle House.
So where in Michigan, where I'm from, we had what they're all called Coney Islands, and there's just National Coney Island, Sunrise Coney Island, some name Coney Island after it. That's what your typical random owned diner is. And we used to love going to Coney Islands all the time just to sit there and eat like whatever diner food and, coffee or whatever. And diner food is essentially, it's, a little bit fancier bar food. It's pretty much all it is. It's like you can't go to a bar and order like a plate of eggs and pancakes, but you can go to a diner and order that stuff. But they'll have the stupid things like, the cheese balls and the, jalapeno poppers and all that, all the bar snacks as well.
Right.
And I love Coney Islands in DC. We do have actually one place called The Diner in Adams Morgan, and I really think it's literally set up at the end of a typical bar strip. And it probably does extremely well because it's typical diner food, and they also serve beer, and it's set up in the place to be you come here after you go to, the bars for the night. But it's like the only one. And they used to be on every corner in Flint where I was from. Every time I go back to Flint, I always still go to the diners just because I want to get some like actual Coney dogs or, the good old diner gyro is like one of the best gyros. I don't know why. Something about looking in the back, and you always have that window that you can see in the back where they're cooking your food. And that guy's always sitting there over the grill, and they'd get to know you, and they'd wave at you, and he'd have the cigarette in his mouth with the ash that was like almost like falling into the food. That was the typical diner, and it was the best.
You know what I've hated about gyros lately is it seems like every place, even though like
call them heroes.
Do what?
People call them heroes, and
well, I mean, yeah, that and gyros, like, yeah. I actually went. The girl I'm dating to she's just on and on about this Mediterranean place, and then we went there and she got a gyro, and I was like, that's not a thing.
I agree with you. But anyways, go on.
But and this place did exactly the thing I hate. The prepackaged gyro meat, where it's like this, like they're like microwave it or they cook it on the grill or whatever.
It's like Steakums from high school.
Yeah, basically, except it's like a lamb mix or whatever, but it's not the fucking lamb mix giant slab of meat that rotates that you slice it off of.
Right, and I will tell you, most diners, I'm pretty sure it is that, and I know that. And
well, this was a Mediterranean, and most Mediterranean restaurants now do that. It's not the full slab.
Now that I find kind of fucked up. I do also find it weird that there was this one Mediterranean restaurant, maybe this early for a reason, like they actually had the big spigot of meat. And they had opened. They were not open for very long. They had the big spigot of meat, and I was so excited because it looked so good, and it tasted off, and it turned out it was just beef. They didn't have lamb.
That's weird.
And I was like, I want to say it's good because it looks so good, but it's not. It's not a gyro.
Yeah,
and I love beef. It's mix. It's not like I'm not against beef by any means. I love beef, but when I asked him, I told him, I was like, it tastes a little funny. Like, what is up with it? Like, what kind of meat is that? And he's like, oh, it's just beef. And I'm like, what about lamb? He's like, no lamb, just beef. And I was like, that's weird.
Yeah, that is weird. It's gotta be the mix. We need the mix. All right. Well, we're out of time technically, so we've gone from redneck to lamb meat.
And I've made
minutes.
So many ghost blocks in here. It's so hard to walk around. I'm gonna definitely log off and back on in between episodes.
All right, everybody. We'll see you all very soon.
All right. See ya.